Frigato Shadows of the Caribbean, or Caribbean, however you want to say it, is a real-time tactical stealth game set in a world of pirates and riches beyond your wildest dreams. You take command of your crew of dastardly scoundrels to defeat and outmaneuver the overwhelming forces of your enemies. The way you go about doing so requires quite a bit of strategy and thinking many steps ahead in order to stay alive by any means necessary. Every action is not only impactful in terms of gameplay itself, but also towards how the crew sees their captain and in what way they follow or do not. Do they follow out of fear or do they do it out of respect? Is your captain a gentleman with a smooth tongue and a code of honor, or someone who relishes in the blood of his enemies as he stabs them through the back? Your playstyle affects how the game plays out, which characters remain by your side, and which are pushed to betray you. Loyalty can be bought, but it's the loyalty that's earned that lasts the longest. The characters are highly distinguishable from one another, and although rather cliche at times, they are likable and they work pretty well. There is voice acting within the game, which although sounding a bit stiff at times and lacks chemistry between some of the characters, it's serviceable and a welcome addition nonetheless.
Thank you. I'm not interested.
There's quite a bit of gold on the line.
But maybe I can spare a minute or two and listen.
Who the hell be ye? Why be ye skulking around here?
I am Charlie. I was just passing.
Although there are repeat voice lines that can get pretty grating after a while, and I really wish we could turn them off or at least turn down the frequency of them. Each character has their own unique abilities, specializing in dispatching targets, luring them in, drawing their attention, lowering their guard, you get the idea. Using these abilities is paramount for getting through each section of a level, and ignoring them can be beyond costly. Beyond the characters themselves, the landscapes of Frigato have a lot of character as well. There are some very vibrant streets, some really lush colors, some boats that feel like they can be lived in at times. Nothing is amazing or spectacular. There isn't some very whimsical or mystical graphics that makes this place seem more of a fairy tale pirate over the more realistic ones. There are elements of tall tales that dead men can't tell, but for the most part, this game is rather grounded in how it works, and the locations do a really good job reflecting that. Before actions, you can quick save with one press of a button, utilizing the save feature to try out new strategies with minimal risk. It does help make the game more inviting to new players in that regard. I bring that up to say that the tutorial isn't as inviting during the time of recording, and isn't as hand-holdy as other games in the genre, like one I am also playing right now called War Mongrels, for example. You aren't made aware of some abilities nor how they are used until you try them. Some areas seem impossible for first-time players, and you immediately get thrown into the thick of things without an objective on where to go, what to do, how killing and sparing affects the game differently. You get the idea. Once you get the hang of it though, the game is a lot of fun, if frustrating at times, to the point that as of right now, I think I would only recommend it to the veteran players. As I say that though, I do need to bring up that there's a lot of bugs and glitches at the moment. The game is still in early access, but the developers, although a small team, have put a lot of time and love into ironing out the wrinkles and squashing all the bugs in order to make this the best game that they possibly can. I originally backed this game on Kickstarter, and although it didn't meet the funding goal required, they still decided to go ahead and pursue its development anyway. I followed the development of this game rather closely, and have seen firsthand the amount of time they are putting in, especially whenever they revolve it around the suggestions of the fans and the people playing the game to make this the best game for all of us. That being said, I can't quite recommend the game at full price, but there is a bundle on sale at time of recording where you can get this game as well as War Mongrels for half the price of the War Mongrels game alone, which if you're a fan of this genre is definitely worth picking up at that price point. In fact, It's a steal that pirates would be proud of. If you just want Frigato though, or already have war mongrels, I recommend getting it when it's $3 to $5 off at least. With many different playstyles, ways to build your team, equipment and bribes to make your life easier, how the enemies adapt depending on your aggression, and how well the world building is in general, the game is definitely worth your time and does have significant replay value if you like playing as both sides of the coin. But with all of the bugs and glitches in the game right now, to the point that whenever I am behind low cover, sometimes enemies can still see me even though they shouldn't be able to, or to quality of life improvements, like the fact that one of my abilities is a bird, but whenever I am behind cover, I cannot get the bird to fly over cover to distract an enemy, which does suck quite a bit. Whenever I'm behind cover and I think of a strategy and I'm like, man, I can have this dude throw a bottle, this guy use a bird, and we can distract the enemy, draw them away, get their attention elsewhere by doing this, it really sucks to realize, oh shoot, I have to come out of cover where I am going to be exposed in order for that plan to work. There is also moments where enemies will be able to see you when you walk behind them, which, unless they got eyes on the back of their head, makes absolutely no sense. There's been a lot of issues with the pathing. Whenever you hit for your character to run, they will get stuck on walls sometimes, or on obstacles, and they won't go around it, or other times they will decide to run straight through the enemies even though my character, the other character, snuck all the way past them, which is severely annoying. A big improvement for this game would be one that War Mongrels actually has, where you can select every playable character in the mission in order to move them all at once. That would eliminate the pathing problem and help speed the game up exponentially. During the tutorial area, if they brought up clips on how you could handle the first actually hard situation, in my opinion and the opinion of some of my friends that I had play this game, and they all played it separately and got stuck at the same place. So in lieu of all of that, if they could have a place in the tutorial where they put up maybe 2 or 3 examples of how to make it around the enemies, and it say something like, every obstacle can be overcome in different ways, use your head to figure out what's best for you, then that would help prepare the new players mentally into the way that the game is going to play out and the way they need to think. It will be a good way to mold your mind into understanding what you have in store for you here. I could go on and on about different ways that I think the game could be better, but this is completely subjective. I already gave my opinion, now I'm just rambling. But I do believe that this is a good game, and if you do get it, I think you should at least see if you could get the Discord, get into the Discord, talk to the team, leave some suggestions in any way, shape, or form, and tell them what you want to see. They are extremely receptive to feedback, and they are all extremely nice people. They've put in a lot of work to making this the best game that they can, and I have a ton of respect for them for that. So thank you so much, Team of Frigato, for gifting me this key. It meant a lot to me, especially since this is one of the only games that I have backed on Kickstarter that I wanted to succeed since sort of the Necromancer Revenant, and I am extremely proud of each and every one of you that have put work into this game, that are just players that have came up with ways to improve it, that have found glitches and provided feedback. It is an awesome experience to see so many people coming together to make something they love. So seriously, if you're even slightly interested and you got some cash to spare, it's worth giving a look. Check it out, you won't regret it. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day.